Alright, we got the 2021 Tenere 700. This is the stock exhaust with no spark arrestor in it. Kind of been running this one like that for a little bit. Getting ready to throw a Black Widow on here. I'll probably get a sound clip of the stock pipe and the spark arrestor out. Alright, so wasn't too interested in throwing an exhaust on the T7, but they have this really weird bracket that sticks way out. It causes the pipe to stick way out, and if you're not careful, you lay this thing over on the right side, it's going to trash this bracket. It's mounted up to the subframe, it's welded on, so like there's not really much you can do with it. It's kind of looking at exhaust options, and I still didn't really see anything that I liked out there, so I grabbed this really cheap high mount pipe off eBay, and we're going to attempt to use this and mount it up to a Black Widow can. This is just a universal silencer. It's a 300 millimeter round silencer that I got pretty cheap off of Black Widow's site. Should be lighter than the factory pipe. And then we're going to see if we can't mount it up to that cheap high mount, so mid pipe. So if you order just a silencer, it's got a 2-inch inlet. Comes with the mounting bracket, pipe clamp, cool keychain, couple extra decals. And then you can see cheap mid pipe. It's going to come. I've already threw this one together. It came with a couple extra spring clamps. Comes with the clamp to mount up here. Should sit like that. This whole thing's going to go in behind the bracket. We may end up cutting the bracket off later, but it's going to bring the pipe up in here. I've already done a tail tidy. I just kind of cut up the factory plastic, and we've got some short signals, and yeah, we're going to see if this is going to work or if we're going to have to move these signals out of the way. So let's get this pipe off and see how this goes. Ignore the garage. We've been working on a couple projects and not had much time to clean up anything, so it's kind of a mess. Had a KLX 300 build, I did, and actually ended up just swapping that for this Tenere. So far with this thing, all I've been trying to do is save some weight. Been trying to shave some weight off of it. We started out about 452 pounds. This thing had a big rack on the back that the other owner had put on it. We took that off, did the tail tidy so far, took all the turn signals off, replaced them with these nice flush mounts up front. Got these small ones in the back. Also removed the front rotor and the front caliper, shaved a little bit of weight. Got the stock skid plate off. We replaced it with a Chervis plastic skid plate. I think that should work good for the type of riding I do. Got the hand guards, took the mirrors off. Just any small stuff we could find. There's a mounting bracket up underneath the seat. We can kind of show that later. Took that off. I didn't think it was useful. Removed the AIS canister, saved some weight, but that's video for another time maybe. So let's get after it. Oh, there's a nut in behind that. So grab some. They grab a set of cheap headers, too, that I'm going to put on this later, get rid of the cat, just to try and save some weight. Again, I don't really like the loud exhaust. I kind of like the sound of the stock exhaust as it is, but we'll be doing a little bit of off-road, so don't want to get out and break this bracket off. See too many guys having trouble with it, so we're going to go ahead and pull it off. Stock pipe. Not quite as bad with the spark arrestor out of it, so you know, I don't know how much weight we're going to save here, but again, it'll be nice to have this and get this tucked up out of the way. We may end up cutting this bracket off later if we don't keep it, depending on how this fits. Looks like this is using maybe a 10. Get that mounted up. I like to keep that out away from the swing arm a little bit if I can, maybe off the bracket. Got a little bit of adjustment, looks like. Alright, let's see what. So Black Widow has these in all different sizes. There's a 200 millimeter, there's a 400 millimeter. I assume the 400 millimeter was going to be too long for what I was trying to do. The 400 millimeter is nice because it's pretty quiet. These have a removable spark arrestor inside of these also, a little dB killer, so I plan to leave that in, hopefully keep this thing a little bit quiet. It's actually looks like it should have made up pretty good. When you order the mid pipe, the cheap mid pipe, they also give you a bracket that mounts up here inside the fender well. So I'm gonna have to get that mounted and aside from that, I think this is going to fit nice. Looks like it should tuck up, get out of the way. If we lay it over, looks like it's not going to fall. Hit the bracket, don't have to worry about it banging into the swing arm. This nice black swing arm can get scratched up real easy if you do lay it over, and this rubs into the swing arm. So this should work out all right. I'm trying to find this bracket real quick and see if we can't mount that up. All right, so this was the hardware kit that came with the mid pipe. It comes with this nice bracket. It's you're gonna take these 2 bolts out, and there's some spacers that you can use. Pull that out, put these shims in, and see what our spacing looks like. Kind of leave it loose and see if that gives us what we want. Black Widow also had these in oval. I saw a couple guys on some of the forums that had used these in an oval mount. I like the looks of the oval better. It kind of fits in the gap here and clears a little better. But what I didn't like is this clamp. It comes pre-bent for the oval can. Normally you'd be mounting it like this, and we're kind of mounting this one off to the side, so it's going to reshape to the pipe and not fit real well. It's going to stay kind of oval shape, and you would be turning like this. So that's why I went ahead and used the round can. Again, this is the 300 millimeter round can, and I think the fit on that's going to probably be really nice. So let's get the clamp. Kind of into the decal a little bit, which will be all right. Yeah, so we should fit around here somewhere. Get this straight, but it's not too bad. I rotate the pipe a little bit. Yeah, so that's not too bad. I got some extra decals in there I may end up throwing on once we get this thing buttoned up, but all in all, that's not going to be too bad, I don't think. A little bit of adjustment here, where this is the round can to get clearance for the tire. I had some shims left over from the rack that was on this, so I took one of those shims and put it underneath the bracket. All in all, it's mounted pretty solid. We have plenty of clearance down here by the swing arm. Everything bolted to the header, nice. Actually fits pretty well. You kind of have to watch the rotation here if you want to keep the pipe at the right angle. I had to loosen that up several times and twist it inside of the clamp just to get it right. But all in all, that feels pretty good. I don't think it's going anywhere. May go over all the bolts again. Still have to put the decat header on when it comes in, so I don't know. Let's see what it sounds like right now as is, and then we'll do another video with throwing the header on and the decat later. So nice well, for the sake of doing exhaust videos, I guess I might as well, even though I have no intention of leaving this out, we'll go ahead and do one with the baffle out and the stock header, just so you guys can hear it in case anyone's considering this setup.